The sheer basic details from a massive raid by the FBI yesterday in the metro were jarring enough. More than a dozen law enforcement agencies, more than a dozen Albuquerque homes hit. And the reality of what was happening here in our community is even more terrifying after talking to agents today and seeing what all they seized. Most of the spots hit by those agents in Albuquerque's South Valley. And the nefarious gangs at the center of this investigation are allegedly responsible for the deaths of 4 New Mexico police officers over the past 30 years. To law enforcement's credit, this operation put a dent in some substantial and dangerous gang activity here in our neighborhoods. Drugs, money, guns, ammo, and that's just scratching the surface of what FBI agents say they took all before the sun came up. Tommy Lopez has been looking through more than 100 pages of federal documents. He spoke to the FBI earlier. Tommy, it took years for the feds just to get to the point where they could make this raid.
That's right, and that's because this is a massive investigation involving multiple gangs in Albuquerque, as we've learned tonight. The court documents show how they operate, also showing what crimes members may have committed, including recent murders.
The feds say Thursday's massive raid throughout Albuquerque was a big hit to the operations of 2 gangs. A massive task force hit 16 locations, took hundreds of pounds of drugs and dozens of guns, and now we have new information on just how extensive this ongoing operation is now.
This is the largest that I've seen since I've been working in law enforcement.
Federal prosecutors say there are hundreds of active gang members in Albuquerque, and informants tell the FBI some have killed multiple people. Gang members are plotting to murder witnesses and informants. They bury evidence underground. They use stash houses and covert communications, and they coordinate actions with members who are in prison. The feds say this FBI-led investigation has been disrupting the gang's activity over the last 7 years. Hundreds of members in Albuquerque have been arrested. At least 11 local murders have been pinned on members. And a plot was thwarted to murder former State Secretary of Corrections Greg Mercantile in 2015. Investigators say they've used 22 confidential informants who are all members of these gangs. They led investigators to these 13 men Thursday, all either gang members or associates. We'll use their nicknames: Lobo, Casper, Dopey, Griefo, Boogie, Sapo, Mad Dog, Snoop, Wacky, Little Man, Ray Ray, Sleepy, and Earn Dog. The feds have tied at least 5 local murders in the last 2 years to these gangs. The most recent was on August 7th. Someone shot and killed a fellow gang member in an Albuquerque apartment. Some murders were certainly gruesome. The feds think Lobo killed 2 brothers he believed were working with the feds, burning their bodies in a car on the West Mesa in 2012. Court documents show many of these suspects came from California because New Mexico was an easy place to live and be us. They talk about laxer laws here and a lower cost of living.
The feds say the 2 gangs they're mostly focused on in this investigation have a decades-long history of murder, of kidnapping, and of pumping millions of dollars in drugs into our city. They are the Sindicato de Nuevo Mexico. It's a prison gang, abbreviated SNM. And the Sureños, Spanish for Southerners, they started in Southern California. But they're certainly here. And Tessa, as we mentioned, the neighborhoods in the South Valley, they were a big focus of that raid yesterday.
It's just unbelievable to think this was all happening right here in Albuquerque. Wow. Tommy, thanks.